Hey everybody, it's Beth, and today I'm making over one of the Dollar Tree hearts. I used one of these slatted hearts from Dollar Tree, as well as some tan and white twine from Dollar Tree and some of their lace ribbon, a love word from Hobby Lobby, a tan button, scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, Mod Podge, Vintage Victorian chalk paint, and hot glue. First thing I did was took the heart and removed the hanger, put it on the back of the scrapbook paper, and traced out each of those sections on the heart. Once I had it traced out, I wanted to make sure my lines were straight, so I just took my square and went across those lines that I had made so I could cut out each of those sections. After I had them all cut out, I took the Mod Podge and put a generous layer on the top section first and made sure to cover the entire area, and then place down the scrapbook paper that fit that section. And then I just continued the same way, covering each of the sections of the heart with the scrapbook paper until it was completely covered. And after I had it completely covered, I took some parchment paper and placed it over the heart and used my travel iron to dry the Mod Podge, as well as remove any bubbles or wrinkles. So I do this while the Mod Podge is still wet underneath, and it dries it really good. And once that was done, I did an outer layer of Mod Podge on each section, again doing a generous layer to cover each of the pieces. Once I had them all covered, I used my heating tool to dry the outer layer. And once it was completely dry, I went around the entire edge with my sandpaper and sanded off any excess scrapbook paper. And for the inside sections of the scrapbook paper, I used a nail file to remove any excess scrapbook paper. And once I had it completely sanded, I took some fresh linen chalk paint and painted each of those little sections of the wooden heart that you could see through. I wanted to make sure those blended well, so I added the fresh linen in afterwards. Next, I took the love word that I got from Hobby Lobby and painted that with the Vintage Victorian chalk paint. And I ended up having to do 3 coats of that to cover that bright red color, and dried it in between. And then next I took this lace ribbon and hot glued it to the bottom of each of the sections. And once I had each of the pieces of ribbon glued down on there, I just trimmed up the edges so it went along with the shape of the heart, and then glued any little pieces that were hanging up on the sides. And for the bottom section on the heart, I didn't want to put it at the very bottom, so I just went up a little bit so it kind of blended more in with the rest of the lace. And then I wanted to make a twine flower for the heart, so I just took some of the twine. It's like a tan and white, and it was from Dollar Tree, and just wrapped it around maybe 10 times around my hand, and then pinched it in the center and tied it off with another piece of twine, trying to make sure that I got it in the center of that loop. And I made 2 of those. Once I had both of those made, I just spread apart each of the pieces of twine to fan it out a bit, and then I hot glued them one on top of the other, having them go in the opposite direction. And then I took that flower and hot glued it on the very top of the heart off to the side. And then I took my tan button and hot glued that to the very center of that twine flower. And next I took the love word and placed that just under the little flower I made. And the last thing I did was took a small screwdriver and poked holes where the hanger originally was and placed back in the original hanger. And that is it. I think it turned out super pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.